So ladies and gentlemen, we have some brand new previews of the A330 being developed by Aerosoft for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. The team have released some fantastic new preview images inside the simulator itself, some new images indicating the progress that's being made on the aircraft pertaining to the wings of the aircraft, the cargo hold, as well as the electronic flight bag or EFB, which is a very core component of these massive tube liner aircraft. All of that stuff is going to be coming very soon, so stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Flyby Simulations here, and yes, welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator update video. I used to do this a lot and very consistently back in, I think, like 3 weeks ago until about then, but I also got tested positive for COVID-19, and I mentioned that in a community post, and since then, the rate of videos that I've produced have gone down considerably because I've been catching up with a lot of university work, applying for internships in the summer. For those of you who don't know, I'm still a 21-year-old university student, so I don't have all the time in the world to sit and do full-time YouTube. This is all coming out from my time, so if you guys actually enjoy the content you guys are seeing on here, it'll be a massive help if you actually give this video a like, maybe subscribe to the channel, and also hit that little bell icon or notification icon so you guys get actually notified when I upload one of these videos, and you guys can stay on top of all of the news and updates that are happening in the Microsoft Flight Simulator world. Now, as I mentioned in the start of the video, over the course of the past week, Aerosoft's Mathis Koch gave us a detailed first look at how the A330 from Microsoft Flight Simulator is actually progressing. The new preview images that we see give us an idea on how the modeling is coming along, as well as a brief look at the aircraft in the simulator for the first time. So what you guys are seeing in the background right now is probably the first proper render of the A330 we're seeing in the simulator itself. We can see it. I think it looks like a German airport, however, I have no way of telling. The runway seems very short, but the foliage in the background we see kind of indicate a German feel for me. I might be completely wrong here. Plus, the Lufthansa livery is obviously a dead giveaway here. We can clearly see that a lot of detail has gone into the PBR materials being incorporated properly in this aircraft. We can see that on the wing surfaces we see some reflections, as well as that little sun glint that we see over towards the tail of the aircraft, and we can see that the A330 is coming along nicely for the aircraft. We also see certain small additions like the Wi-Fi box on top of the fuselage of the aircraft there as well. So the flaps also seem extended in this case, which clearly shows that this aircraft is coming in for a landing. That's definitely not takeoff flap configuration. I might be wrong. I haven't really flown an A330 in a simulator before, but that doesn't seem to me as a takeoff configuration. So all of this stuff really looks nice. It looks like a lot of progress has been made on the aircraft. We're going to see a few more actual preview images of the detail that has gone into this aircraft in just a bit, but from the overall looks of it in the actual simulator itself, this is what most of you guys will be seeing on your home simulator packages. So it looks nice. Now, as for the actual previews that were shared by the team, to start off with, we were treated to some of these previews of the wings being rendered in the 3D rendering software. There are plenty of smaller details here being rendered in the 3ds Max software. That's the software these guys are using to actually build this aircraft from scratch. No doubt there will be some level of wing flex with this product, as can be seen with the intricate details, as well as the multiple sort of points of inflection that we can see that have been sort of fused into this model itself. That was a huge request from the prior version of this aircraft back in the P3D world, where wing flex was a problem for a lot of people. And listen, if you're flying one of these smaller tube liners from Aerosoft, like the CRJ or the Aerosoft A320 family of aircraft, wing flex might sometimes be a little hard to notice. But if you have the wingspan of the A330, which is a longer, larger tube liner, you're definitely going to want to see that wing flex, because it is very apparent when you fly on one of these aircraft in real life. So it's great to see that they're actually incorporating this and using Microsoft Flight Simulator's proprietary engine to its fullest potential. Another area we actually often overlook is the cargo hold. Now, in this preview post, we saw a number of images highlighting how the cargo hold is currently looking. These images are from only in a rendered state. It's not in the actual simulator itself. So we can see that, again, it's in the rendering software. But again, there's clearly a lot of attention to detail being added in the plane's belly. We can see the cargo nets. We can see the track rails. We can see all the the decals being added to the model in the right appropriate places. Now, personally, when I'm performing point-to-point operations, I'm not one of those people that actually go into the belly of the aircraft and check out the various sort of intricate details that the team has managed to add in the cargo hold of the aircraft. That's just not me. I prefer to spend most of the time in the actual cockpit, as well as maybe sometimes in the passenger cabin to record some wing views and stuff like that. That's the max I will do. However, for some cinematic content, as you guys might be seeing in the background of the video right now, in fact, this actually might be very interesting. And just to see the fact that the team is adding this much attention to detail, that level of detail can be extrapolated to the overall aircraft itself, which means we might be seeing better hydraulic systems and fuel systems and electrical systems. All good to see from a developer the size of Aerosoft, so I'm pretty excited about that. Now, next up, this is something that is extremely exciting for me personally. That is the EFB. So developer Thomas is in charge of creating the EFB functionality for the Aerosoft A330. From the single image shared on the forums that you guys are seeing in the background here, we see that the EFB will allow you to load passengers and fuel from within the simulator itself. Now, this is not uncommon. You can do this with the EFB. EFB, for those of you who don't know, by the way, stands for Electronic Flight Bag. It's this little iPad thing that pilots use in these large tube liners to be able to configure various different controls within the aircraft. Now, that's only in the simulator. In real life, they can read various charts, they can do proprietary flight planning from their own company software and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool that they're incorporating this sort of realism into the simulator itself. Now, from the looks of this preview itself, you can see that we can also set the speed that the cargo, passenger, and fuel will load itself into the A330. The only other icon on the EFB at the moment is the charts icon that you guys can see over here, which no doubt will involve Aerosoft's or in-house charts solution, which means that there might be Navigraph charts sort of inclusion, or Aerosoft might sort of try to promote their own chart software, which means you can sort of identify aerodrome charts, taxi charts, airport charts, SIDS and stars and stuff like that mid-flight, so you don't have to switch out and break the realism in any way. So that's pretty exciting stuff, to be perfectly honest. Now, I personally love the EFB that was supplied in the CRJ 700 and the CRJ suite of aircraft that Aerosoft provide. I personally think that that's probably the best EFB in terms of user interface and how clean everything looks. The fly-by-wire A320 NX mod also has an EFB, but that is of course a freeware product. Not to say that that's bad in any way, but I just prefer Aerosoft's EFB products much more. They're just really nice looking. So I hope that they can do something similar with the A330 EFB, and I really do have high hopes. From the looks of things, the dark grays that you guys can see in the blues are very indicative of the CRJ EFB as well that we have in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I hope that level of user interface is also kind of brought into this aircraft. I'm pretty excited about this. Now, we also have some Xbox news for those Xbox people on there. So as with other aircraft so far developed by Aerosoft, the hope is that the A330 will be released for PC and Xbox users as well. Now, this is big news. I know there's a lot of people on my YouTube comments that constantly keep saying that, oh, all this is great and all, but it's not going to be coming for Xbox because we're just left here without anything. But I'm glad to see that Aerosoft is indeed working on the Xbox side of things as well, because that is of course a large customer base that they will want to cater to. So I'm glad that a larger proportion of the community will get to enjoy this aircraft in its entirety when it eventually does come out. Speaking of when it will eventually come out, there hasn't been any mention of a release date from Aerosoft yet, but we know that it hasn't even entered beta testing. So as we can clearly see from the images in the 3D rendering software, as well as even the preview image that we saw in the simulator itself, it's very, very early. So it's going to be very hard to comment on the actual release date of the aircraft as of yet. It's going to take some time. I'm pretty sure it's going to take some time. However, I do know that Aerosoft isn't a study level developer, which means they won't go to the ends of the earth to make this as real of a replica of the A330 as possible. They'll obviously try their best, but from the looks of things, it might come out in 2022, very late 2022, maybe early 2023, but that also is a complete guess. So if you guys have any insider knowledge on Aerosoft's operations with the A330 aircraft, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me actually in the comment section, when do you guys think this aircraft will come out? If you guys have experience in the flight sim world, you might actually know how much time it will take for an aircraft to be released after you saw the preview images. So that's all from Aerosoft about the A330 for Microsoft Flight Simulator at this point in time. As always, I'll be sure to keep you updated with the latest development for the wide-bodied Airbus aircraft that this company will be releasing, as well as a whole host of other aircraft that are being developed by other developers all the time. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this video. Exciting news with the A330 and the Aerosoft front. We have tons of exciting stuff to check out and look at in 2022, and I'm pretty sure 2023 is going to be an even better year for flight simulation with the looks of things. As always, if you guys haven't already done so, please make sure to give this video a like. It takes 1 second, but it's a massive help for a small channel like mine. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit that little bell icon to stay notified with all of the latest and greatest upcoming Microsoft Flight Simulator news, and also make sure to join my Discord server. We're a small but thriving community of people who love discussing everything that is aviation and aerospace and even current events from time to time. So if you guys would like to get involved in that community, maybe offer up some suggestions for future videos and stuff like that, make sure to join that community down there. As usual guys, thanks for flying by.